They didn't just upgrade the car, they tore up the rulebook. For decades, Ferrari has clung to its traditions like gospel, the design philosophy, the engineering principles, the quiet belief that their way is the only way. But now, that belief has shattered and the man holding the hammer is Lewis Hamilton. His arrival at Ferrari wasn't just about swapping overalls or chasing podiums. It was a warning shot, a signal that the old comfort zones inside Maranello were about to be ripped apart. And that moment has finally arrived. They'll tell you it's just a floor update, a technical tweak, a small step forward. But behind the carefully chosen words and media-friendly smiles, the truth is far more explosive. What they've done to the SF25 is nothing short of a quiet rebellion, a mutiny, disguised as carbon fiber. The floor isn't just reshaped, it's a symbol of a battle raging behind closed doors. Hamilton didn't come to Ferrari to be patient, he came to force change. And at the Austrian Grand Prix, that change steps onto the track for the world to see. This isn't about lap times or new aerodynamic parts. It's about breaking tradition, about rewriting the very DNA of Ferrari's Formula One car under pressure so intense, it's boiling the team from the inside. And now, there's no more hiding, no more technical excuses, no more whispered frustrations. Because when the lights go out at Spielberg, the truth about Ferrari's future will be impossible to cover up. And behind all of this, behind the polite interviews and carefully chosen words, the real story is building like a storm in the paddock. The whispers are growing louder with every passing race. You can feel the tension creeping through the garages, through the engineers' briefings, even through the quiet exchanges between drivers. Ferrari might smile for the cameras, but inside, the cracks are impossible to ignore. Hamilton's frustration isn't new, it's been simmering quietly since race 1. Every time the car snapped under braking, every time the rear lost grip through a slow corner, every time the promised upgrades delivered nothing but disappointment, the frustration grew. But now it's no longer silent. You can see it in his body language. You can hear it between the lines of his radio messages. 11 races of instability, of missed chances, of a car that refuses to behave. That's not a rough patch. That's a pattern that's tested even Hamilton's patience. And that's why this new floor isn't just another technical fix, it's survival, for Hamilton, for Ferrari, for everyone still clinging to the hope that this team can be saved from itself. But inside Maranello, not everyone agrees. The old guard, the traditionalists, still believe the Ferrari way is untouchable, that the legacy, the history, the name itself will carry them through. But Hamilton, he's demanding something more. Something the old Ferrari never wanted to face, a full revolution. And now the team is split between those too scared to change, and those who know change is the only option left. The pressure inside Ferrari isn't just coming from frustrated drivers or restless engineers, it's coming from the car itself. From the moment the SF25 hit the track, something wasn't right. The team called it a learning curve, a small window of adjustment. But behind the closed doors of Maranello, the truth was clear. This car was broken. Not just in details but in its very concept. The flaw, the heart of its ground effect performance, exposed the real problem from the first lap of the season. On paper, what Ferrari is bringing to the Austrian Grand Prix is described as a simple floor refinement. But in reality, it's far more than that. This is not a tweak. It's a full-scale engineering coup, a last-ditch effort to fix the SF25 before the entire project collapses under the weight of its own failures, and before the brutal 2026 regulation changes make that collapse permanent. The issues have been obvious for weeks. Low-speed instability that makes the car unpredictable through tight corners. Poor tire heat cycles that kill performance over a race distance. A compromised ride height that forces the engineers to lift the car just to keep it drivable, sacrificing precious downforce in the process. Every fix has been a plaster over a leaking dam. And now, Ferrari has no choice but to rip that dam apart. Enter the insane floor rebuild, redesigned edges to reshape the airflow under the car, reinforced structure to stabilize the chassis, aggressive aerodynamic rebalancing to try and claw back the grip and consistency the SF25 has been missing all season. This isn't evolution, it's desperation. A complete rewrite of Ferrari's design philosophy disguised as a technical update. But make no mistake, the stakes couldn't be higher. If this radical overhaul fails, Ferrari's problems won't just stay hidden under the car, they'll explode onto the track for everyone to see. For the drivers, this isn't just about engineering or aerodynamics anymore. It's personal, it's about belief, about trust, and right now, both are hanging by a thread. Charles Leclerc, Ferrari's golden child, the one they've built the future around for years, is losing faith, quietly but surely. Every race that passes with the same problems, the same missed opportunities, you can see it written all over him: the frustration, the fatigue, the doubt. And then there's Hamilton. His silence this season has fooled some into thinking he's simply waiting, being patient. But make no mistake, his silence isn't acceptance, it's calculation. He didn't leave Mercedes to get caught in politics, to play it safe, or to chase fourth place. He came to Ferrari with one mission: to rewrite the final chapter of his career, to silence the critics, to prove, once and for all, that he could drag another legendary team back to the top. But Ferrari's refusal to break their old traditions, their stubbornness, was slowly strangling that dream. That's why this floor rebuild matters so much. It's not just carbon fiber and datasheets. It's the moment Ferrari was finally forced to listen, forced to change. But with that change comes risk. If it works, maybe, just maybe, belief can be restored. But if it fails, it's not just a technical setback. It's a blow to the very heart of this team. And both Hamilton and Leclerc know there might not be another second chance. Now, everything comes down to Austria. The Red Bull Ring isn't just another stop on the calendar, it's a battlefield. A fast, technical circuit that shows no mercy to teams trying to hide their weaknesses. The high altitude, the tricky low-speed corners, the constant demand for grip and balance. It strips away all the fancy words, all the simulations, all the excuses. Here, the car speaks for itself. If there's a flaw, it shows. If there's instability, it shows. And if a team dares to gamble on a radical change like Ferrari has with this insane floor rebuild, the truth is exposed instantly. This is the test, the moment that will decide if the belief inside Ferrari can be saved, or if the cracks will finally split wide open for the world to see. If the floor works, if the car finds grip, stability, and pace, there's hope. Maybe Hamilton's gamble was worth it. Maybe his patience wasn't wasted. Maybe this team still has a future. But if it fails, the collapse won't just happen on the timing screens. It'll happen inside Maranello's Walson, the offices, in the garages, in the hearts of the people who've believed for so long. And that kind of collapse isn't easy to rebuild. This isn't just an upgrade. It's a reckoning, a line in the sand for Ferrari's future. Because the truth is, everyone in the paddock is watching. But not just the lap times. They're watching the faces, the body language, the long silences over the radio. They're watching for the cracks that numbers can't hide, the quiet arguments, the nervous looks, the tension that no technical update can fully cover up. Hamilton has forced the change. He's pushed Ferrari to do what they've resisted for so long, to break tradition, to tear apart their own ideas and start again. But now comes the real question: will that change save them, or will it finally expose just how deep the problems really run? The Austrian Grand Prix isn't just another weekend on the calendar. It's Ferrari's moment of truth, the chance for redemption, or the beginning of complete implosion. And when the lights go out, the stopwatch won't be the only thing telling the story. The real signals, the real truth will be written in the silence, in the frustration, in the raw reality of what unfolds on track. So if you want to know what's really happening behind the red curtain, subscribe. Because the official story won't reveal what's cracking beneath Ferrari's legendary name, but here, we will.